watching QTV this morning, and I am Jenna Basanko. It's actually been ages I've not been on this platform. Ages. So I'm so excited to be here. And Ibrahima, thank you so much for joining us, my amazing co-host, and Mr. Adedrami, as usual, our newspaper review guest. And thank you so much, gentlemen. And how was your weekend?
Alhamdulillah, had a good weekend. This weekend was a very busy weekend for me.
Okay.
Because I did a lot of filmings during this weekend. I was at Tamala on Saturday with the immigration department.
Right.
And on Sunday, I was in Nema for a cultural event that I was invited to cover. So it was a busy weekend for me. I spent less time with my family this weekend.
And you're so sad, right?
Yes, very sad, because it is not the usual weekend.
For you. When you say you were invited by the organizers to participate, or you said to cover?
Yes.
So was that QTV who sent you
to participate and cover? Cover for QTV Weltare, number one,
Mr.
and
Weltare
to attend as a cultural ambassador.
Which
You
of course
understand?
you are.
Because in the Gambia, I am regarded as the Fulani cultural ambassador, and that have been inscripted and signed already.
Right as he says this, there are people right now fuming and saying, but I thought I was the cultural ambassador. All over the country, people are saying that right now. And yet
so it's confirmed. You're giving an award?
So
I want to know, is this official?
Well,
that you're the cultural ambassador in the Gambia.
It's not blowing my trumpet here. I am just trying to.
You're just stating a fact.
Yes, this is a fact.
An established fact for that matter.
This is a thing that have been signed and sealed,
and delivered.
So, well, that is what it is.
Go. It is what it is. There you go. That's quite an onerous title to have, Fulani Cultural Ambassador. Gosh. As for me, the weekend, of course, as most people know, it's usually just Sunday. But I spent most of it kind of relaxing. I was a bit tired. I'm not sure why. I had a bit of a cold. So, you know, and then the weather was miserable. But at least it was raining, which for me is just nasty. I mean, because you can't drive anywhere. I mean, the roads are so rubbish. Everywhere is flooded. You know, so you know, I was not happy about that. I wanted to go and visit some friends. I said to them, you know what?
It's raining.
It's raining.
I think it's about your location as well, where you live.
Yeah, where I live. And I think anybody who has to drive through Sukuta, you'll experience having to drive through a river. But I watched the Women's World Cup, England versus Spain. And it's one of these things that tells you that life is strange. Because the Spain captain, she scored the only goal, imagine, to win the game, greatest game in you know, and the biggest prize in women's football. She scored the only goal. She's the captain. She comes off the pitch, and she gets the news that her father has just died.
Oh my God!
I mean, from
that must have been
joy to complete despair.
Yeah.
You know, the biggest moment of your professional career. You're celebrating, and then you walk off the pitch, and you get that such devastating news. So quite a contrast for her. For the game itself, it was a great game. England played well. They had chances, but Spain were deserved winners, and it was an enjoyable game.
What was it? Okay, I had only a Sunday as well.
Yeah.
Because on Saturday I went to this coconut
planting
exercise along Senegambia to Kartong, but it was crazy because the event was supposed to start at 9:30. It did not start till whatever time.
This is Gambia.
You know, I arrived here after 3 o'clock, so it was just crazy, you know, the time, because the chairman of the British Americans was at another event and had to come to our event to do the opening ceremony. Gajaga covered that and I covered this. So I'm like, how can you schedule both happening at the same time? One party has to suffer, you know. But anyway, it's a good initiative, you know, that they're doing this. When I went to Tangier and I stood there and I took a look at, you know, the market is here, the water is here. I'm like, this is really, really scary.
Close,
it's really, really close.
And there's nothing that acts as a breaker.
You know, so I actually checked. I'm like, okay, why are coconut used? So I'm like, I had to check because I was then writing the story.
Yeah.
So a lot of time people use coconut, and I'm sure people maybe do not even know.
Why?
So I had to do my own research, and then I saw why. Obviously, because they have a very strong grip in the soil.
They absorb. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So water has nothing on them.
Yeah. Right.
Well, I
You
think the other reason why people plant coconuts
Yes.
along the riverside is they are more friendly in
Yes,
that
tolerant.
environment,
They have
and
the sense of
at the same time,
tolerance.
they grow in that condition.
Sure.
So there's nothing that affects them. It's different from growing a mango.
You dare
If
not.
you grow a mango tree there,
Yeah.
it won't survive it the same as orange. So I
Yes.
think coconut,
Yeah.
despite the salty
harsh conditions.
sands and others, but I think coconut is the best choice for that.
Yes, it is. So that was just the weekend. And on Sunday, what did I do? I slept a lot because obviously it was raining.
Yeah.
But later on, I was out. I, went to eat.
Okay,
I was at Tropic,
Okay,
I'm not going to
cool.
do some advertisement for the place I went to.
But you had some
I
nice
had
food?
some really good, traditional food
Oh,
and
nice.
stuff. But I know some people will come after me. It's a Sunday. Why didn't you cook? I choose not to.
You were chilling.
Yes, I'm chilling.
Let
I work
somebody else.
from.
Let somebody
You
else.
work
do the
from
cooking.
Monday to
Yeah.
Saturday, and then you expect me on the only Sunday I have. You want me to suffer for what?
Yeah.
What do you say? I have to
Yeah.
suffer on Sunday?
Huh?
Sunday, dama wara duga wanje toro.
Well,
Te liggéey naa Monday ba Saturday.
well, I think it shouldn't be suffering. You shouldn't be
But
suffering.
Mr. Ade, I'm
Should be
like,
enjoyable.
you know what?
Yes.
When I check my schedule, I'm like, I'm gonna have a husband in this schedule. I'm going to have kids in this schedule.
Trust me.
I'm like, how? Like,
You
how
work-
am I going to live my life?
You work around it.
Mr. Ade, how?
Well, when my fiance, when we spoke, and she said to me, I understand you work 6 days a week at like 14 hours. She said, is it going to be like that if I come to the Gambia? I said, of course not.
Husband, Mr. Hitler, you can manage because it's
I said
some
maybe it's
lovey-dovey.
because you're not here. That's why I work those hours. So we shall see.
I'm like
Very
I'm like 2
interesting.
kids in this schedule,
Yeah.
having to wake up, bath one, get one done.
Just-
I'm like, oh
Well,
my God, God saved
you
me.
will
Other
never know.
other people do it.
You will never know you can do it until
Until
when
you
you
have-
Until
are
you're in it.
You
And
understand?
also, Mr. Ade,
So
until you
should
have
be-
the most supportive husband ever,
You should be able to
who's going to wake up
amalgamate
and
things.
say, let me bath this one, right?
Yeah.
Let me bath this one, and you can do the other one.
Yeah,
A
I
husband
mean,
like that.
I have nieces who I never thought would make it as mothers, but when they became mothers, they rose to it, and they rose to the challenge, and they've been superb. So yeah,
Amazing.
until you have to do it, you don't know.
And then until you have the
you
perfect
make
partner as well.
yeah, of course, that
The
helps.
partner who's going to say, oh, let me help with this baby.
Yes, let me
You
change-
do that, right?
let
You
me-
help with one of the babies.
Change the
well, we
nappies.
do, but we do.
Yeah.
I mean, due to our busy schedule,
Yeah.
you
Here we
come.
go
No,
again.
allow me. You come to work in the morning.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
Sometimes you close late afternoon. Before you get home, the traffic is so tight, and when you get to the house, maybe you want to take your shower, pray, but at night you cuddle and tell her, look, baby, I know things are tough with you.
That's not going to help. Cuddling cannot
but-
change anything, my,
Yeah, you
my
have to
dear.
I mean,
My
at some
friend,
point,
please.
cuddle
That's
her.
your own benefits.
Let me
Cuddling
tell you.
is your own benefit.
Let me tell you, when
You're benefiting
But
yourself.
Miss
You're
Ade,
saying
no,
what?
come on. I mean, it's gonna,
Hey.
no, come
go,
on.
let's go.
It's gonna help in another way.
Hey,
I mean, appreciating the efforts
Cuddle,
of this
that is
young
a
lady.
two-way thing. You are also feeling good about
I mean, appreciating the efforts, telling her, okay, fine, I know.
the cuddle is for whose benefit?
Whose benefit is the cuddle for?
Yours or hers?
Just cuddle her and see what you will go through. I beg, please.
Okay, all right.
But, you know,
I'd
just-
like to check.
let me
whether
just-
the
The man
cuddle-
talk malal.
Kumo benefit.
Yo, benefit to man.
It didn't benefit.
Exactly, quite,
Are you sure?
quite. You know,
Are you sure of what
when-
you're saying?
this thing that we're talking about,
Yeah.
that Jennifer is talking about helping. When I was at the cabinet office, one night I had to work late and I was leaving and I saw a light on. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And, we had something very big the next day, so I had to finish it. And I saw a light on the end of the corridor, so I walked towards the corridor and there was a guy and he was working. And I thought,
At that
okay, I know why I'm here. I said, why are you here? And he said, oh, I'm doing so. I said, but hang on, didn't your wife just have a baby 2 months ago? He said, yeah. I said, is it that you don't want to help with the baby's thing? He said, if I'm honest with you, yeah. I said, you know what? I'm going to call the security. They're going to usher you out now. I said, if I catch you here again at this time of the
It's
night,
very
I
wrong.
said, I will have you sacked. You know, he was doing it just to avoid going home to help.
Mr.
And they had 4 children under the age of 6.
Listen, but do you know you are stepping on his fundamental human rights?
No, that's not. Hey,
no, you are. Listen. You are stepping on his rights.
Yes,
you have no audacity, no temerity, no effrontery. I mean, to send him home. That was wrong.
Because you know what? When he goes home, he'll be saying, those people at work, they make me work and blah, blah, blah.
Blaming
Nobody was
work.
forced. No, we were not forcing him to work.
Exactly. I agree with what you did.
Hey, and the next day I checked, I said to the security guys, I said, was that guy here? They said, no. Every day I checked on him for several months. I did not want to see him
And Mr. Ade, you know what? I'm so happy you did that. Women, I've never had a baby before. But obviously, as a woman who sees my period and then I have emotions.
No worry, you'll get it very soon.
I know how I feel when I'm seeing my period because it's the same kind of hormonal stuff. So that's the time that women need support the most because they feel like insecure about their bodies. They have a big belly. You know, things are just falling apart because that's how women are when they like have babies. It requires a whole construction again. So that's the time you have to like keep on reminding them that you're okay, you're beautiful, you're this. You know, and that's the time men cheat. At the end of the day, research shows yes that
not all men.
I'm not saying all men, but men cheat.
Some men cheat.
Research shows that men cheat, you know, at a time where their wives are either pregnant or they're nursing their babies during that point in time.
And the men are not there to
But
help.
nursing is a good time. I mean,
excuse me?
No, during nursing, it's a good time sometimes.
To cheat.
No,
It's a good time.
not to cheat.
Not to cheat.
Exactly. I can understand when
Anyway,
I mean,
but yeah.
For other things.
But anyway, generally, let's now move on to current affairs. The coconut planting by the GCCA Plus.
Can we do our African proverb?
I think. Oh, we have one.
We have
We have
one
one.
already.
Oh,
We
do
do.
we? Okay,
We
I
do.
missed that. Okay, take us through.
Yeah.
The best way to eat an elephant in your path is to cut him up into little pieces.
Yes.
Seems familiar.
It's a familiar one.
Yeah, I think it's coming here again.
It actually comes from a joke rather than a saying. Like, you know, the saying is, how do you eat an elephant? And the answer is one little piece at a time.
Yeah.
But it has a wider meaning and a wider context.
Yeah.
It's like if you have a big task in front of you, don't just go head on into it. Try and compartmentalize the task so you can do it in stages, plan it, and then you will get to the end of what might seem quite a big or difficult task to begin with. So yes, imagine eating an elephant would be quite a big task. So if you try to eat the elephant in one go, your belly will burst.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
What you need to do is take bit by bit, bit by bit.
I think we've dealt with this before. That you know,
I think
you just have to plan properly.
Plan, yeah.
You know, when you're dealing with anything, just plan well, and then you achieve it better. But if you just want to go into it without maybe identifying, you know, what is the coordination, what part is the implementation. You know, when you do that, then you have a sense of direction.
Have
but when you
strategy.
just, you know, want to just go on top of issues like that, most of the time, you know, you just get to fail.
Disaster.
Yeah, disaster happens.
Yep.
So, Ibrahima, do you want to put in your inputs before we go for
Well, it's telling you gradually, I mean, by taking little steps, you would be successful.
Right.
Sometimes once you rush, you miss. You understand? We all know for an elephant, for you to be able to eat an elephant, you cannot swallow an elephant. You know, you have to take it easy. You have to cut the elephant into pieces to be able to consume the elephant.
Exactly.
So it's telling you, I mean, life is a gradual process.
Right.
Once you take it easy, I mean, I think you will achieve your desire.
And as the Chinese people say, even the longest journey starts with a single step.
How do they say that in Chinese?
You have to get Choi to come and
Anyway, we'll just go for a short break. But before that, your glasses, are they prescribed glasses? I just wanted to
just
know
for show.
Is it just for show or they're prescribed?
He's been told that people wearing glasses look
Be
intellectual.
careful.
For some reason, and you know
Be-
what?
be careful.
Saturday, that's a concept in Gambia.
It's, no,
when
it's
you,
all over the
when
world.
you want to look bossy and stuff, you just have to wear glasses.
Are
I
you
don't know.
moved by my glasses?
No, I just wanted to know if they're prescribed or
You
it's
love
just
them.
for...
You know, one thing about these glasses, Mr. Adi, I don't understand. When I bought these glasses, I am supposed to see clearly when I wear glasses, but when I put them on, I don't see clearly.
Because they're not meant for you.
Prescriptions.
They're not prescriptions.
And if I remove them, I see
Easy
clearly.
So
now what I do, if I wear them when I want to see clearly, I remove my glasses and look at the
and you know
like
what,
that.
Mr. Ade, I can tell you for free, this is less than 500.
What type of a glass is
Mr.
this?
Mr. Ade, trust me, these glasses.
What type of...
Do you accept that?
What type of a glass is
from
this?
a Coca-Cola bottle.
Mr.
Probably.
Ade,
come on,
trust me, this is how much did you
I
get
bought
them
these
for?
glasses for $850.
No.
He needs a refund.
No.
Look at that guy
give him
saying
some of
This
your
is
money back.
$200. Honestly.
You want me to show you the receipt?
No, where's the mark? Like, what is it? Is it a thing?
Baby, look at this.
Made in Basse.
Baby, look how classy.
I
Listen,
don't even know what
Don't
this
bring
is.
it. Careful,
No,
careful. You might break it.
$800 glass, $850. Come on, baby, chill.
Lii 200 la
Calm
ñu dee taxaw
down,
fële di
calm
jaay
down.
lii nii am na ñu Mr. Ade ñu dee jaay lii naka la tuddaati charger.
This is
They
not.
sell these
This is not
$200.
$50 glass. I
You know,
mean, my friend.
Mr. Ade, I bet yours are super expensive.
he's an honest man.
How much did you buy yours?
I bought these in London. They weren't that expensive.
Ask for the price.
They weren't that expensive.
It's like it resembles the glass I used in Serakunda market the other day.
No, glasses in England, unless you want to show off, glasses are not expensive in England. And so they have lots of shops, Specsavers. You walk in, they do they take your prescription, and then they tell you come back in 2 or 3 days time. Sometimes come back the same day.
Okay.
Can we delve into some of the stories?
Yeah, do we have to go for a break or we can just jump on?
Let's take a short break.
So we can
After
just
the
go
break
for a
then,
short break. Yeah.
we'll
And
be
when we
right
come
back,
back, we delve into some issues here and there.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back.
Of our lives, and the way we use it has evolved drastically over the years. With the advent of 5G internet, we are entering a new era of technological innovation that promises to transform the way we live, work, and play. 5G internet is capable of providing data speeds up to 100 times faster than 4G, making it the ideal solution for streaming high-quality videos, playing online games, and downloading large files on the go. 5G internet is already transforming cities across the globe, powering smart cities, self-driving cars, and virtual reality experiences that were once thought impossible. 5G internet is also paving the way for Internet of Things, allowing for seamless connectivity between devices and the creation of a truly connected world. For the first time in the Gambia, QCell is bringing tomorrow's technology to you today with the launch of QCell 5G Internet. Get ready to experience the out-of-this-world wonders of QCell's 5G Internet. For more information, call 111. QCell. We innovate, others follow.
The future is now with QCell's 5G network. Experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled devices. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning, and I'm Jennifer Sonko. So, gentlemen, I think we have just 3 stories that we can delve into quickly. So, to start with, I was talking about the issue of the National Assembly vehicles have finally been, given to the various National Assembly members. They've received their keys. They've received the keys. And then I saw at least 4 over the weekend around town. So I'm like, okay, they've already started.
We'll be seeing them.
With the tinted glasses and all. So I'm like, okay.
They got tinted glasses?
So I'm like, they've already started moving around.
I hope the police stop them every now and say, is that factory tinted?
Where's
your clearance?
Yeah, where's your clearance?
Okay. Yeah. All right, I've also...
But then, do you have any input on that?
Yeah, I mean, we discussed it on Week in Review, myself and Choi, because Choi did the story for us. I think at first people were very skeptical and saying, why do they need to get these brand new vehicles? But I think when you look into the story, it's a loan and they have to pay half of it. The government pays the other half. But there is a question of sustainability. Yeah. Because when they leave, they will take those with them, and it's over a 5-year period. But when the new lot come, they'll have to be given new cars as well.
New vehicles again.
And so government, again, has to spend half of the money on that. But when you look at the reasons why they've been given them, some of them saying, you know, without this we can't get to our constituencies, and sometimes when we have to go to programs, they bundle all of us into one minibus. It's not dignified, and so on. It's not so bad, but you know, it's.
But how often do they even go to their constituencies?
Exactly.
Well, now they will. Well, now they can.
Well,
now they won't have the
now.
excuse. Well, that's the point, isn't it? We will have to test them.
We will have to
in 5 or 6 months' time. We can
how
find
often
out
have you been
how many
there?
of you have been to your constituencies,
Exactly.
because you were saying that what was stopping you was because you didn't want to get in, you know, keke or kada.
And you know
or
what? Funnily,
minibus
I've
or
been to
whatever,
a specific community. You know, while I was filming Youth Dialogue, I can't mention. Obviously, when I do, we'll know which National Assembly member they're referring to. You know, those people currently, you know, they're completely in regret. They're like, oh, your mom's a National Assembly member, but doesn't say anything. You know, they even feel like bringing back the person that they had previously, because obviously then the sense of education is not there for them to have understood that it was not about the individual. Can the person even represent you in parliament? What can the person say on your behalf?
Exactly.
So now they're complaining about their parliamentarians just going to the parliament and being like this without having anything to put out.
Well, you have that all over the world.
That's the problem of just, I mean, choosing a person that based on relations, you understand? So most of the people that we elect into office in this country, it's based on the relation we have with the person. It's not about how good the person is and what the person can bring to your constituency. So I think that's the problem that we're making. I've had a lot of people talking about our National Assembly member doesn't even talk. Sometimes when they are sitting, people watching TV and be like, our guy doesn't even talk.
It doesn't mean that they have to, like...
Sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sometimes, based on some of the debate and the quality of some of the debates that we heard, they probably are grateful that their National Assembly member didn't talk. Because some of them, you wish they hadn't spoken.
Yes!
Because really, the level was so poor that you think, what is this person doing at the National Assembly? These are the people who are going to frame the laws that are going to rule and guide. I mean, quite shocking. So some of them, they should be grateful that those people don't. Let them be quiet.
You know, I mean, I think for you to be taken to the National Assembly, you need to understand the language of the Assembly.
Language, the procedure,
the law,
everything. I mean, now we know that because there's this whole new batch of them, they're being guided as to how to conduct parliamentary or National Assembly business. They're not just being left to kind of fend for themselves. Because even in the previous assembly, when Halifa Sallah was there, you know, there were many times when he had to get up and correct people, even correct the speaker as to rules of procedure. You know, and this time they don't have somebody like that there. So, you know, it's going to be quite a difficult task. I mean, you know, you're going to get people on social media saying, hang on a minute, he or she has just said that. That's not correct, because I've just looked up the Constitution, I've just looked up the laws or whatever. So, you know, he was having to correct them, and you know, they were having to take guidance from him.
Halifa was there, and most people were looking at him like the negative one. You understand? All the time, he's the one sitting on the fence. He doesn't want to interact a lot, because Halifa does some of these things because
I never saw him sitting on the fence.
He understands the law. You understand? He understands how things you know, transpire. I don't have a problem with their vehicle. You understand? But why not they look for cheaper vehicle? You understand? Because like you said, after 5 years, those coming in again, they might need other vehicles. So if
what you mean they might need? They will.
They will. Obviously.
They'll be entitled to.
Yes. But that depends. They might get a donation. They might get someone who donates them vehicles.
Donations that we don't know. Who
you don't know.
We don't want people to donate to
because
our National Assembly. These are people making our laws.
Because
we
if
don't
somebody,
want that.
if somebody donates,
you remember the pickup trucks?
Yes.
What did they say? It was a donation. Someone gave them to the National Assembly. So we might have a thing.
But we frowned at that
we might have a thing like that again, because we've seen things happening. So you never know. If they are using that amount of money and buying huge, I mean, this type of vehicle, why not they look for simple vehicles? Why not we have them all over that are not very expensive, so that they will not drain our coffers?
No, well, I think, you know, Africa is like that. You know, in any African country you go to that I can think of, you go to Sierra Leone, you go to Nigeria, Ghana, it's the same. They buy these big vehicles, they buy these expensive vehicles, and they think this is their entitlement. And there are countries 10 times bigger than the Gambia, where people still manage to get to their constituents without the government footing half of the bill for them to have a vehicle.
So let's take a look at the story quickly, the suspension of travels, international travels, quickly before we go, because time is almost up.
Sure.
We saw
Press
the
release
press
from State House.
From State House, but they did give specifications as to, what kind of
and you
travel.
know what? Somebody it's gone viral, by the way, in both Sierra Leone and Nigeria. They can't believe that any state house could issue such a thing, because that kind of travel by ministers, by people from departments and their ministries is quite common. And people go, they get per diem and so on. And so it's quite. But people kept saying, "Oh, why isn't it signed?" Apparently, in Sierra Leone, somebody sent me some. It's signed by hand and stamped with the official stamp. The one that came from State House hasn't got either. There's not a signature, as a physical signature, and there isn't a government stamp. And so they were saying, is it real? I said, yes, it's real.
It is.
It's on the president's own website. It's on the State House website.
I wonder what triggered,
Well, yeah,
specifically.
it's going to be interesting, because you've got the UN General Assembly coming up in September, and so it'll be interesting to see how many people go.
You've got the COP28.
Yeah, so there are a lot of important and interesting ones. It will be interesting to see. And the thing is, if you look at it critically, when COVID-19 stopped all air travel, these meetings still went on. People joined them virtually. They can do so again, really. So there's no so once you've suspended it, if you're going to bring it back, you then have to justify why you're bringing it back, because people can say, well, why didn't you join it virtually?
But then I think they will maybe have exceptions when it comes to maybe trips that are funded by international organizations.
Yeah,
because obviously then it's not coming from government.
Well, yeah, and again, this discussion kind of went on. You might have seen in the QTV reporters group. Yeah. Somebody was saying, and I said when I went to Sweden in 2009, the Sierra Leone delegation was 13, and I thought that was a lot, and I was complaining to the organizer. Well, not complaining. I said to them, you guys paid for the president and 13 people, and they were like, yeah, but we paid for Bangladesh, the president or the prime minister, and 139 people. I couldn't believe it. I had to check that my ears were working. I said,
that's a full aeroplane, Mr.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but apparently, when I went and spoke to the delegation, you know what they had done? Before they even landed in Sweden, all of them had made appointments with ministries, with businesses, they all had appointments to go to. And they weren't just there for the per diem. They were there to work, and I thought, wow, I was impressed. It was a 5-day conference, but yeah, it's 139 people in Bangladesh.
People can travel, but it's about the impact.
It's about the impact, and what are you going to do when you get there?
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, you talked about, when COVID-19 hits, most of these travels were suspended.
No, all of them.
Yes. All of them were suspended.
Nobody could fly anywhere.
But still now, meetings were held on Zoom and all that.
That's right.
But I know there are times that Zoom, it's the only solution and only answer. But I don't think Zoom can solve other things than like you in person to be there, to negotiate certain things. I think it's important for you to be physically there, especially if these are deals that you need to be there and solve.
This man,
supposing COVID-19 had carried on to now with the ban, 5 years down the line. Are you telling me the world would have come to a stop because people could not be face to face?
But we would have managed. You understand? It's taking the option.
There's virtually nothing. There's none of these meetings that you can convince me can only happen person to person. None of them. If so, please tell me which.
Mr. Ade,
not one.
Mr. Ade, the bottom line is this man.
Listen.
He's hoping to get back.
Yes,
it is good.
That's the bottom.
No, I didn't have any problem of the president suspending maybe international travels. You understand? There are things that can be addressed far better than international travels.
But it will still
it's
happen.
not only international travels that are affecting our country.
But it's one thing, because
It
those
is
things,
major.
they cost a lot. Because sometimes, even though the organizers may pay for you, they might not pay for the per diem.
And also,
and other things. So,
government
yeah.
officials are given enhancements of £300. You know, how many people are going to travel within the year and be given the enhancement, you know, of £300, even if that's given to you, even if an international organization is funding everything. But it's like an emergency fund that you're given. That's also
You know,
money.
the way to counter this is that if the people who've been doing all this traveling were able to come to the Gambian people and say,
tangible.
because we traveled, look at the deals we brought.
Exactly.
How many of those have you seen?
Well, that's
Actually,
the problem.
I've
That's
seen
what
one.
they need
I
to
can
do.
point at one.
Yeah,
Remember,
you see?
the one for Honorable Usman Silla was sent by the Ministry of Higher Education. That's one success story,
Yeah, that
where
is
they
true.
went to Benin and then
Yeah.
later they formed the network
That's
on
right.
this,
Yeah.
you know, TVET,
SASAS
and now
Net or
SASAS Net, and
Yeah.
he's now the Secretary General. So we want things like that we can
Well,
point at and say it
and
brought
say
us.
this is
Exactly.
This is
tangible.
Yes.
tangible
If
something.
we are going to get benefit from it at the end of the time, I mean, that travel worth going. You understand? We all know how things work.
Yeah.
Most of the time, most people just want to go for tourism.
Exactly.
They just want to go and enjoy and come back. And most of the things you won't see. But I think travel, I mean, it's part of the thing. I mean, you need to travel. You need to go from one place to
Mandal
another.
beside
I mean,
thumbs up though.
the
But
world-
I can't say anything too because I've seen the world.
He hasn't convinced me. I told him, I said, give me an example to convince me,
He
but he
was
hasn't.
decided this man wants to travel,
Well,
and currently he's lobbying something.
at this-
And if the organizers of this event
this
hear him
time-
saying something
No,
against
but-
traveling, he's going to lose his
But
per diem.
at this time,
so let's chill.
this time, how can the president cancel international
Because you're supposed to travel.
At this time, come
It's
on,
not a
Mr.
good
President.
time,
I
right?
think you need to reflect on that again.
Are you a civil servant?
He's working on something. But thank you so much, Mr. Ali, for joining us.
Always
it's
a pleasure.
Always good to have you here.
Always a
And
pleasure.
have
Thank
a
you.
nice week ahead.
Thank
and
you,
make
thank
sure
you.
to relax next weekend.
Yeah, I'm trying
You
to
know?
relax now. Just very, very quickly to my son and my ex-wife who were actually in Las Vegas,
Yeah.
and they're enduring 60-mile-an-hour winds and all the sun because, of course, it's built in a
Oh,
desert area.
right.
So
Las
everybody's been told to
Vegas.
stay indoors, and I spoke to them yesterday. They were very worried.
Oh,
so,
okay.
so they're going to be watching. So I hope they're okay.
Oh, okay. But
Yeah.
things are getting calm now?
No, it's just getting bad now.
Oh,
sadly. Yeah,
okay. So
yeah.
we're sending them some
Yeah.
love then.
Yes, indeed,
And
yeah.
it's a beautiful place.
So
I
to
heard.
Alpha and Zainab, chill.
Yeah.
And don't panic.
Don't panic, okay? The Ade of Ades is telling you guys to like calm down. When he says calm, you guys gotta calm.
Calm
Exactly.
down, baby.
Maybe he's even planning to go to Las Vegas.
Calm
You
down,
never
baby.
know.
I was,
Him.
hey, lovely place.
Las
I
Vegas.
highly recommend
And you
it.
know what I
Yeah.
love about Las Vegas? It said whatever happens in Vegas stays in
Stays
Vegas.
in
So
Vegas.
if I go to Vegas and wear a bikini, for example,
Jay.
no Gambian is gonna know.
Stays there, baby.
Stays there, baby.
in the days of social media.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's go for a short break and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
QCell brings you the future with our ultimate bundles. Enjoy the best voice and data bundle plans in one package. Get unlimited data packages with flexible validity and enjoy what true internet feels like. Get 30 minutes of on-net and off-net calls with 5 gigabytes of data for just $350. Or get bigger bundle packages from 10 gigabytes to 20 gigabytes with over 100 on-net and off-net voice calls and enjoy the fastest internet speed in the Gambia. You can also buy 1-day, 3-day or even 7-day packages and enjoy unlimited data bundles with uncapped speeds. Just dial *343# today and experience the limitless capabilities of the QCell network. *343# should be your favorite code to dial now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, we innovate, others follow.
Step into the Espas Motors showroom for your luxurious name brand vehicle. Located along the Bertil Harding Highway, Espas Motors is the Gambia's authorized dealer for Chery, Kia, Ford, and now we bring you the new Peugeot model 3008 SUV. 18-inch alloy wheels, 216 inches high ground clearance, keyless entry system, start and stop button, rear parking assistance system with reverse camera, adaptive cruise control with speed limit, LED daytime running lights, front and side airbags, 8-inch HD touchscreen. Not to forget our exquisite Peugeot Landtrek double cabin pickup with 2.1-liter diesel engine, 6-speed manual transmission 4x4, hill descent control, LED daytime running lights. Espace Motors, the authorized dealer for Peugeot. Visit us today or call us on 35-2222 or 353-4444.
Do your banking the smart way with the new Aji Bank mobile app. Transfer money to any bank account in the Gambia. Top up airtime for all networks. Pay utility bills. Check your account balance and view mini statements. Request for ATM cards. Request for checkbooks and more in a single touch. So, do your banking in a smart way. Do your banking now with Aji Bank mobile app. Every time is banking time. Aji Bank, your investment partner. You asked for it, and QCell is giving it to you with our new and improved Sunyu Bundle Mega Promo. Now you can get more data at cheaper prices. Buy any of our bundle packages and enjoy massive discounts. Dial *303# and enjoy browsing on the network with the biggest coverage. Buy a 20 megabytes data bundle for as low as $7 and 50 bottles today, or purchase bigger bundles up to 20 gigabytes. Yes, that's right, 20 gigabytes of data at your fingertips. With our mega promo bundles, you can browse more, chat longer, and stay connected on the go, anytime, anywhere. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, we innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning, and I'm Jenna Bosonko. I'm here with my amazing co-host Ibrahima Balde. So Ibrahima, now we're taking a look at how a 3-month pilot project that aims to address the causes of irregular migration through skills development, training in media-related fields to enhance employment and employability opportunities. So this project seeks to equip the academy, which is the MAJAC academy that has to do with training young people on media-related issues, with first-hand information and recommendations from various stakeholders such as civil society organizations, migrant-focused organizations, NGOs, and international bodies. So, the last time we were just talking about how important it is that, journalists are trained on different issues, just so some of these things are tailor-made, and then, they can specialize to say, I want to report on politics, I want to report on migration, and just the different areas. But to further help us understand what this pilot project seeks to achieve, we're joined by the director of MAJAC, which is the Media Academy for Journalism and Communications, Mr. Sang Mendy. I think this is the first time coming on this morning, or maybe I've missed. I was not here.
Well, as far as I can remember, too,
this is the first time.
This is the first time.
What an honor.
Yeah, it's a pleasure being here, and thank you very much for the invitation.
All right, so take us through, this particular pilot project and how it can change issues when it comes to migration, targeting young journalists.
So we are building on the successes of the ITC project, the ITC YEP project, and also the GIZ project, because we are aware that they've actually implemented series of capacity building activities or trainings, in a bid to curb irregular migration. But most of the time is either on the hard skills and not the soft skills. For example, in welding and fabrication, in tailoring, in food and catering, and a host of areas. Actually, we've benefited also from the ITC project, where we trained would-be or potential migrants in film and photography. We trained them for 9 months, and some of them are actually independently working on their own, trying to make ends meet. So we decided that it is important with our partners to conceptualize a project that will help curb irregular migration. But the way we'll do it, we'll build the capacity of young people in the Gambia who are interested in certain skill areas, media related, because we are a media and communication training school. So we only want to focus on media related skills. For example, film and photography. Young men and women who are interested in studying film and photography, if we have the project, we will train them in film and photography on gratis and equip them with the requisite skills to be able to film and take photos as a way of living. We also intended to do a training in communication, because communication is something that you can never saturate. Every organization needs communication officers. Even Balde, for example, if he becomes a politician, he would need a communication officer to guide him on how to communicate. We're also thinking of doing a training in the creative designs, because creative design is also, for example, graphic design. When you become a graphic designer, you don't need to go and look for jobs. So these are the areas, and these we want to also incorporate innovation and entrepreneurship. So all the people we'll train, aside our journalism program, would actually also take an innovation and entrepreneurship curriculum and modules. So they understand that when you have a product, it is important that every now and then you innovate and you also think like an entrepreneur, because it's only when you start thinking as an entrepreneur that you begin to realize the gains that you are supposed to make. But if you just have a skill and then you only, for example, photography, and you're taking photographs and you're not thinking like an entrepreneur, maybe you will not actually make the money that you require. But this 3 months pilot project is just for us to understand what young people actually need and develop a proposal that will probably help us implement this. And it's going to be, for example, if we get the proposal, we might be running the trainings in 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, Mr. Mendy.
But how do you know he wants to be a politician?
It's just a guess.
It's just a guess? Okay, I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that.
Does he really want to be a politician?
I'll leave it
You're
at
sounding like that.
Off camera. We'll have the discussion off
Don't
camera.
mind her. Well, I think you mentioned something very important here. I mean, if you don't think like an entrepreneur, you might end up not getting to the place that you want to get to. Most of these young people today, they will venture into certain skills, but I think the problem that they have is they don't think like entrepreneurs. They don't think how to expand. They don't think how to do things that another person did not do. I mean, putting certain touches on the skills that they are doing. So how are you helping them, think like entrepreneurs?
So this is going to be embedded in our curriculum, in the curriculum that will run in the various programs, because as of now we are just doing what we call idea harvesting. And once we have all these ideas, and when we were working on this, the first phase of it is actually to meet civil society organizations that have worked on migration. It's also to meet international and local NGOs that have worked around migration, to hear their success stories, to hear their challenges, so that when we're developing a proposal, we are factoring all these things. Because for us, we want to make sure that people have the requisite knowledge when we have this project, to not just run a 3-month project, but we will run a certificate, a diploma, and an advanced diploma program in film and photography, in communication, in creative design, and then all this together with our journalism program. All this will be factoring innovation and entrepreneurship. So all these things will be embedded in curriculum from level 1 to level 4. And once we begin to roll these things out in a pilot project, in a funded project, then after that, when that phase is off, then we will begin to ask people to pay to come and study film and photography, maybe creative design, in communication, and even we are also factoring digital media production and management, because that is also an area that people can actually specialize on.
So this is an opportunity, considering you're the director of MAJAC, and this is the first time that you're coming to ask questions relating to the academy. Just generally, how has the academy just changed or shaped the media landscape in the Gambia?
That would be like we are trying to sell ourselves, but it's an opportunity.
Not necessarily.
But actually, since the coming of the Media Academy, then called the Gambia Press Union School of Journalism, which I attended. When I was attending the school, the school was called Gambia Press Union School of Journalism. And today I am actually managing a journalism training institute that is actually producing young men and women of caliber working in various media houses. If you look at QTV, for example, we have Aliou Cissé that has gone through the academy. We have Julden Jai that has gone through the academy. Babukar Si, who was here, has gone through the academy. So, and these people are actually contributing to the socio-economic development of the country. In the media landscape, they're also doing well. A lot of young people are actually taking them as role models as well. If you go to other media houses, some of them are senior reporters, some of them are actually working in the editorial unit. So actually, it has contributed a lot in the area of having trained people in the newsrooms. But quite apart from that, they're actually also taking a leadership role in the newsrooms, and that's actually commendable. Yeah. If you go to media development, for example, the Gambia Press Union, the Secretary General, the president, as all these people are students of the academy. Right. You know, the program officers, you know, you have one or two of them that are actually from the Media Academy. So the Media Academy for Journalism and Communication can be credited for, you know, also contributing in shaping.
Currently, there's an argument, okay? Previously, the argument was that journalists don't build their capacity. They just get into the fields and then just want to become journalists after grade 12. You know, but now we've seen that that trend is changing. It's either you go to Majak or you go to the University of the Gambia. But the issue is that when these people actually graduate now, there's a problem as to them being absorbed. Is it because of the curriculum, or what is the problem?
So I wouldn't know why media houses are not actually hiring the trained personnel, but I think it has to do with actually some media houses and their policies. I wouldn't know, but it cannot be boiled down to the curriculum, because I've been a student of the University of the Gambia as well. After I finished my studies at the GPU school, I went to the university, and I know the major curriculum is purely professional curriculum, where you do both theory and hands-on, a lot more on hands-on, so that you are able to produce content that is needed by your media house. For the university, it's also a little bit of practice, because there are few equipment. But then I am a proud student of the university, that if I go to work in the newsroom today, I might not even be appointed as a senior reporter. Maybe it would be in the editorial unit. Not because I'm better than any other person, but because the competence is there. Not just the knowledge, but the competence is there. Right. So I sometimes also feel that some media houses just don't want to compete. So if you look at QTV, for example, you are from the University of the Gambia, and you're presenting news, and Gilda is from Majak, she's presenting news, and she's doing other things. Aliou Cissé, the same thing. So you can't tell me that this QTV build your capacity. Your capacities have been built by the institutions you're coming from. So it is important that we understand that training institutions are only there to provide training, but when they come into the newsrooms also, we are supposed to touch up 1, 2, and 3 for them to be able to factor, work along the lines of the editorial guidelines of every media house, because every media house is also supposed to have your own editorial guidelines and principles. So, but you look at all some other media houses, especially radio, I think they just don't want to compete. Because if you want competition, you will hire the right people to make you compete. But look at these radio stations. Some of them are not actually also going into news and current affairs, serious news and current affairs. It's only this newspaper review. And newspaper review is not journalism as far as I am concerned. Yeah.
All right. So television stations have to compete then.
They have to compete in terms of hiring, getting the right people, and also build their capacity. Yeah, if you have a good editorial teams, every now and then, every quarter, you should organize editorial training, in-house capacity building in in, for example, beat reporting. For example, if you want to train people on sport reporting, you know, at least you train 6 people in the media to be able to become sport reporters, and also train them on a whole lot of things. So media houses, in as much as the schools can should up their
because the schools,
standards.
For example, Majak, what is the requirement? Because then you don't have a bulk of people.
Yes.
You don't want to have a bulk of people graduating.
Fantastic.
You talk.
Fantastic.
Man dama dem Majak, hey man mangi dem
Wow,
Majak. The dega chahan ham garek.
Yeah. So
we don't also want that.
So this is also one reason why we are beginning to introduce some more programs, so that we minimize the number of people coming in to study journalism, because it's a concern to us. We know that we are graduating at least every year. Maybe we will be graduating in the next 2 years. Every year we'll be graduating 40 students. But after that, every year we will only, the target is to only graduate 20 journalists and 20 probably in film and photography, another 20 in creative design, and you know, so that when people are coming, they know we are not only going to study journalism. Because at the end of the day, the university is graduating maybe 40 or 60, and if Majak is graduating another 40 or 20, it's a whole lot. Where are they going when the media is not actually absorbing them? They will end up going into communication, where they actually do not have the requisite skills to become communication officers.
And we've seen you know, people complaining about communication officers
because
the simple etiquette, and they are not
because
aware.
they are not simply trained to become journalists. If you are trained to become a journalist, and then you went into communication, you do not actually, you're missing out on a whole lot of things, because communication is a whole different field from journalism. Journalism is a component of communication. So when you want to go into communication, you need to study to become a very good communication officer. So it's either you do mass communication, and communication, just like any other field, is changing day in, day out. So the entry requirements at Majak is 4 credits including English. But then that does not give you an automatic qualification. You have to go through an interview process, and if you pass the interview process, you have to be examined. And after the examination, that is when you get to be recruited. So it's not automatic qualification like, okay, I have 5 credits, so if I go to Majak, you have to be interviewed, and after the interview, you have to write an exam. And if you pass the exam, that is when you get there. Even for people that are not that do not have maybe 5 credits, but have worked as journalists for quite a while. They also, so if you have a proven track record in the media, you come, still we give you interview and we examine you. If you pass, then you come into Majak. So because every class we can only take 20. Our class sizes are small, and we don't want to overload our staff.
And actually, you know, he's dudanga.
Well, I mean,
he's coming.
I'll soon be.
So no class.
No, he would not, because Majak, definitely if you come to Majak, you have to make sure that you don't miss 15% of your class attendance. You know, because 85% class attendance has to be there before you even write any exam. So if you come to my class for radio production, you will do a lot of assignments. You know, Mr. Assignment lañ ma ko dee.
Ba dafa foog ne weltaare dafa am.
Don't worry.
Foofu wax ko ne weltaare amu fa.
But I trust him.
Foofu weltaare amu fa. Foofu da ngaa ñëw toog nga def sa assignment.
xam nga mag bu jël ay jéego ne dafa dem jàngi.
mag bu xam
soxlaam.
Waaw mag bu xam soxlaam.
Am na soxlaam.
But thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Any final words on the project before we leave quickly? In a minute?
So we are looking forward to putting up a strong proposal, and I hope the Danish Civil Society organization will be willing to give us fund to run this, because migration is a global issue, and that's why our partners in Denmark are interested in this, and we're working with them. Hopefully by September 13 we will submit our proposal, and fingers crossed that we will have this project.
Okay, so good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ibrahim, so I'm afraid that is all we have time for.
Until
so when you go to Majak, that's your director.
Yes, absolutely.
Amud lifinde, amud lini
duga ni. Sa
direct jase na la me pare so defe so de me mula bayal.
Bulen go man.
Well, thank you so much. Till we come your way tomorrow with another interesting program. Have a good afternoon.